This is James Doan with Minor Illusion, and today I will be doing a review of Fragged Empire, a new RPG that has piqued my interest. If you have any interest in sci-fi, films like Serenity, TV series like Firefly, or the classic anime series Cowboy Bebop, then this is the RPG for you. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in which humanity has died out, their genetic successors have died out, and the genetic successors of those genetic successors are around. This includes some very interesting race options. You have the corporation, which is a bit like if the businesses of the modern world had full sway and were able to go mad with tons of advertising left, right, and centre. They're a culture that cares about getting ahead. Then you have the Kaltorans, who are I wouldn't want to call them space elves or anything, but they are. That's another interesting point, that in this game there are no real fantasy comparisons for them. They're very unique, all the different races. The Kaltorans are this culture that within their gene is the genetic history of all their people. So they are left with the burdens of all that memory. It also makes them very good at doing just about anything as long as someone in their past history had done it before them. Then you have the Legion, which were a race that were hastily created and with one purpose, to fight a war. And now that that war no longer exists, they're finding that peace is a difficult thing for them to deal with. Then you have the Nephilim, which were on the other side of that war, and they are about as divorced from the humans that they are descended from as they could possibly be. They look very alien, and they know it too, because they decided, in order to get along with the other races a little bit more, to create humanoid-looking versions of themselves in order to interact with the other races. This is a very simple game in concept, but in reality there are so many options. You have the basic attributes like strength, reflexes, movement, focus, intelligence, perception. Everything is resolved with a 3d6 system. That is where the simple aspect of it ends. You have space combat, you have miniature combat, you have options for theatre of the mind combat, you have equipment, be it laser weapons or outfits for your characters. You have a resources management system which dictates what you can do within the galaxy. If you have no resources, then you're basically penniless, but if you have high resources, then not only do you have money, but you also have influence. This game is very much geared towards a long game. It's not to say you couldn't just hop in and play a short game, but it's definitely geared towards a nice, long, sandboxy kind of game where you're exploring the galaxy and finding various things to explore and get into. The setting for it definitely encourages this. Humans created the Archons, who created the other races, and who created the Zions, who were... they didn't like the Archons very much and destroyed them. Then you have the war between the various races, the Zions vanishing, and then basically everyone getting knocked back to a point where they were stuck on their various planets. And only recently have they been able to start branching out and getting back into rediscovering their technology. So that's the time and the period in which you are. You are after the destruction and trying to go out and re-explore the galaxy. The book includes a selection of villains in the GM section. There is also another book called coming out, or actually have already come out, called The Antagonist's Archive, which I will be doing a separate review of, that has much more detailed bad guys. This game is very, very interesting, and unlike anything I've ever read before, it just has this, for me, a nostalgic feel that reminds me of Firefly and all those kinds of movies where you go out and explore the galaxy and make some money and maybe a bit of bounty hunting along the way. This game was produced after an extremely successful Kickstarter and is definitely a crowd favorite. It's definitely got a lot of support. I'll be doing another review of an adventure that I have called Let Sleeping Gods Lie. And yeah, I'm definitely interested in this game. I want to run a game as soon as I can get a group together. So this is James with Minor Illusion, and I will be giving you some more reviews later on this month.